Today, I'm going to react to a foreigner talking about what they dislike and what they like in Korea. I lived in Korea for over a decade, and I'm very curious to hear what this person has to say about living in Korea. Let's jump into the video.
What's one thing you dislike about Korea?
Probably that being not Korean, I'm obviously not Korean when you look at
It's
me.
obvious.
You're always seen as an outsider. Even I've lived here over 5 years, and I know Korean culture really well, and I'm always polite and respectful to it. Still, people will always call me Weigukin. They'll always call
Be a Weigukin. Be a proud foreigner. Be a proud Weigukin. She's not wrong. She's 100% correct. When you're living in Korea, you're never going to be, if you're a foreigner and look different, you're never going to be 100% accepted as a Korean. This is not a bad thing. Let me tell you something. You do not want to be a Korean living in Korea. Be a foreigner. Be a Weigukin. I am telling you, the benefits really outweigh the negatives. I'm telling you this. Korean stress? You want to deal with Korean stress? I got pretty big shoulders. I cannot bear the load of Korean stress. When you are born in Korea and live in Korea, the amount of stress that you take upon is immense. And if you don't believe me, take a look at the birth rate and other factors that will indicate the amount of stress Koreans have, even being a very wealthy, developed nation. I hear a lot of foreigners not complaining, but mentioning that they will never be accepted as a foreigner living in Korea. I don't think this is a bad thing, because if you are accepted as a Korean, you are now have to take the good with the bad and bear the responsibilities that Koreans have to bear. I will give you an example. I used to work in an elementary school. I was the foreigner. I did my job, I taught, I did very well, I got along with everybody. But a lot of my coworkers usually stayed in late, came in early, did a lot of extra work, did a lot of extra paperwork. Me being the foreigner, I didn't have to do a lot of these task responsibilities. But as I stay longer, I try to, learn more Korean and try to assimilate more. And my Korean level wasn't good at all, but it was enough to where I can type and do a couple of things. And as soon as I learned more, hey, Ade, can you do this paperwork? Hey, Ade, can you do this task? And usually the English teacher never does it, but because they really felt like, man, like he's really part of the culture and whatnot. Not 100%, but they felt like I was part of the Korean culture more than other foreigners. So I got a lot more responsibilities. And this is just tipping my toe into that pool, not even being 100%. I am telling you, you do not want to bear the responsibilities of a Korean living in Korea. I'm pretty sure Koreans also like living in Korea here or there and whatnot, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of stress that comes with it that I would not want to deal with. This is not a bad thing. I understand that foreigners living here for a long time, like myself, it bothers them that no matter what they do, they can't cross that line. And I completely understand, but you don't want to cross that line. You don't want to cross that line. Like, all foreigners hold a foreigner card. We all hold this foreigner card. And every single foreigner will tell you we have this foreigner privilege card that we can pull out at our own convenience and use whenever we want. Koreans can't do this. Koreans can't do this. So when certain things happen and I'm not included because I'm not Korean, hey, I take the good with the bad. No problem. Because I know there's a plethora of positives that I get away with and that I can use because I'm a foreigner. So I try not to complain about this.
Call me a foreigner, and I know that can be an issue for people who live here long term.
Like me.
But maybe that will change in the future.
It's not gonna change. Korea is not gonna change. Definitely not in my lifetime. But Korea is not going to change. I always say, you can change rules, you can change laws, you can change whatever you want to change. Culture takes the longest thing to change. For example, stop signs in Korea. You could put 10 stop signs on an intersection and make it a law. Ain't nobody gonna stop. It's just the culture here. It is what it is. Don't cross the street unless a car is like 50 meters away. Because they'll start honking at you to move the hell out the way. Stop sign or whatever. You can change the rules, the laws, whatever. They're gonna hit you. It's gonna happen.
And so what's one thing that you love about Korea?
Oh, there's so much I love. I'm really into Korean music, food.
Korean music. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Cheaper than my hometown. I love my job. Of course, the number one thing are the Korean people that I've gotten close with since I've been here.
I always tell people that Korea, I find living as a foreigner in Korea, and I always tell foreigners this and they look at me kind of strange. Some really understand it, some don't. But I'll let you guys know this secret that I kind of figure, this formula that I kind of figure out. Korea is a force multiplier. It's a force multiplier. So especially if you try to learn even the most little bit of the language, and you try to understand the culture a little bit and express it, and people pick that up, they will take that appreciation that you gave for their culture, they will take it and force multiply it and then show you so much love back. That's one thing I love about Korea and Korean people. I remember one time I was in Korea for like 4 or 5 months. I met a Korean dude. He took me to a mountain, and there was like a bunch of ajumas, and I just learned how to say hello properly. And I said, "Oh, 안녕하세요," and all the foreigners, like three ajumas, and they're all there. They just give me a round of applause, and they're just clapping. And I felt so, you know what I mean? Like those things. I should know Korean more, but I'm telling you, this is just a small example that if you give a little bit to Korean people as a foreigner, they kind of take that and force multiply it right back at you. And that's why I never want to complain about not being considered like 100% Korean, or I'm a visitor or whatever. That's just how I look at it. Again, K Explorer, you did an amazing job. And shout out this girl. I know she probably lived in Korea for a while. I do love my job too. I do love living in Korea. Let me know what you think. Especially if you live in Korea, or you travel to Korea and you have some experience with Korea. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. And let me know about your country and tourists that come over there. My name is Ade. I lived in Korea for over a decade. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Bye for now.